earthly job you can get. That is not why I went to school. That is not why our families are uniting. We are uniting now to say no more debt.
No more debt.
We can fight back against the banks. So no more debt.
No more debt. No more debt. No more debt. No more debt. No more debt. No more debt. No more debt. No more debt. No more debt. No more debt. No more debt.
Here's to the uprising of a gift-based economy. May all threads of fascism and classism burn.
It'll flame up. I just
Mic check.
Mic check.
You chant. Listen up.
You
chant. Listen up. Zero out my credit score. I won't play your game no more.
Zero out my credit score. I won't play your game no more. Zero out my credit score. I won't play your game no more. Zero out my credit score. I won't play your game no more. Zero out my credit score. I won't play your game no more.
Everybody! My name's Eric. I'm here with Socialist Alternative, and I'm a three-time Iraq War veteran. I'm here. I worked in the main hospital, the primary trauma center in Iraq, which is the busiest trauma center in the world, and would see GIs, service members of every stripe, come in pretty horrible condition. A lot of them came and entered into the service in order to pay their student debt or to get the Montgomery GI Bill. We as a country have created a system in which there's such a state of desperation exists for people to become educated that they're willing to pick up a rifle, go to another country, point it at somebody, and pull the trigger just to pay off student debt or to get themselves into college. So I'm here to represent some of those members of the 99% that could not be here today. They didn't make it back.
They need to pull the trigger on the officers. I'm not kidding. I got that from Vietnam. I wasn't there, but...
Does anybody else have a story of their debt, credit card debt, student debt, housing debt? There's a lot of us who are out here who are trapped on this treadmill. We want to hear people's stories today.
Raise your hand if you're in debt.
Ben Painter's got some stories to tell.
Raise your hand if you're not in debt. It's probably easier. I was a student until I was working 60 hours a week, going to school full time, trying to go to school and get out of the poverty that I grew up in. That's not the way to get out of poverty. We need a different, better way. I'm in worse off than I was before I went to school. After all that work, it's a lie. They are lying to us every day. Don't buy into it. Every day from now on, instead of concentrate on working, I'm concentrating how I can actually make the world a better place. Instead of working to make these guys a lot of money, right? Let's work to make our world better. Right. So that means we gotta look outside of ourselves and we gotta look at each other too. We gotta all do this together. Because if we're just thinking, oh, my debt is bad, we gotta think about, my brother over there, my sister over there, their debt's bad, This freaking sucks for all of us. We have to stand up together. Right? Yeah.
I want to tell a story for a woman who wanted to be here tonight, but she couldn't, that I met last week at a forum we put on, Kate Baird. She's in her mid-30s, a single mom of two, and she took out a major student loan to go to grad school when she was married. And so they based how much she could supposedly pay based on, her husband's income. But then he took off, and she's saddled with his debt. She has to drop out of school because she couldn't pay it. In 1 year, because of penalties, fees, etc. They added $18,000 in 1 year onto her debt. She's supposed to be paying $1,200 every month, and she's only got a part-time job and has to put food on the table for both of her kids. She's got debt collectors, hired thugs, basically.
I'm sorry.
Yes. These debt collectors are calling her, she says, literally 5-6 times a day. They wake her up in the morning. They tell her they're going to garnish her wages. They're going to take her home. They tell her they're calling her relatives, her neighbors. That's what these debt collectors do. These are thugs for the banks, trying to extract every last dime they can out of people. It's a living nightmare for some people when you get into this debt trap. And millions of poor people, working people, unlucky people are trapped in this nightmare. Their credit destroyed, their possibility of any real financial future destroyed. This is what these banks are doing to people so they can buy a second yacht, a fifth home, and all this other nonsense that the fabulous rich like to live off of because of our misery.
What's up, Occupy? My name is Miss Nicole,
Thank you.
and I am the 99%. When I was married many moons ago, I purchased a home in St. Paul with my husband. At the time, I decided that it would be best if we qualified for the loan based on one income rather than two, because I wasn't gonna fall for the trap. I thought I was being smart. When that marriage didn't work out and I got divorced, I worked as long as I could and as hard as I could to keep my house. I did childcare out of my home for 3 years, and then I wasn't able to do childcare anymore and had to go back into the workplace, which was fine. However, because I had been an entrepreneur, nobody wanted to hire me. They figured I would be too willful and too much of a free thinker for them to be able to control me. So after months of struggling and getting behind on my mortgage, I made a decision. I went to prostitution, and I stand here today with no shame, and I stand here today to tell you that this is what's happening in America. People are whoring themselves for the benefit of the bank, so that they can make their payments.
Bullshit!
Okay?
Bullshit!
I whored for a year to get caught up. Once I got caught up, I tried to go back into the workplace, and I continued to struggle. I now have given up. On July 3rd, my house went up for sheriff's sale. And even though the wonderful people at Occupy Homes were willing to stand behind me and fight with me, I made a decision. I'm fucking done. I am done. I am done paying these banks. I am done allowing these banks to prostitute me. And I don't care if you're prostituting your body, your mind, your talent, your skill, whatever it is. Stop letting the banks whore you out now.
I'm going to talk about the art of the possibilities and what 1% are really scared of. They're really scared of us organizing and becoming educated and really up to date on what the real issues are in this country and in this world. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the state of North Dakota, and I'm not saying it's the perfect solution, but bakers are scared of what's happening in North Dakota, and I think we can do something even more revolutionary in the spirit. North Dakota has a bank that's owned by the Bank of North Dakota residents. We can have a bank that's owned by the 99% and controlled by the 99%. We can control it so much that no one will ever be foreclosed on. No one will ever default on student debt. People will be taught about capitalism and how it is exploiting us and how imperialism is exploiting us every second of every minute of every day. We could really have The state could be controlled by the people's money, and our money can be controlled by not what we say, but what our hearts say and how our feet move towards something that will be good for the planet, good for humans, and good for everybody, especially their mind and what they learn. Make no mistakes. What you are doing is very important right now. The bakers do not like what we're doing right now. I'm not saying a people's own bank is the final solution. There has to be many solutions for a very complex problem. What we must understand is that the work has to continue what we're doing right now. One day it's like when you become conscious, it's like turning on a light in a room that's full of darkness. Their kids have to go to school too. Their kids have to buy houses too. Once they understand this, they won't always protect the baker's interest. You see, as human beings, we're more the same than we are different. And when we let racism control us, when we let classism control us, when we let sexism control us, that's when the real problem lies, because the 1% wants to keep us divided. Look, I want to come to you in solidarity. I say this is a powerful moment in history right now, and what the symbolism of what we're doing in terms of burning our student debt. I am too a master's student at the University of Minnesota, and I have not defaulted. I will try not to default, but it's hard. There are many things that can go wrong where it can be easy for one to default if they don't have a living wage job. So I understand everyone's plight tonight. I really do. I want to thank you for your time, and I want to say what you're doing is powerful. Keep feeding your minds and understanding that we will have many state banks like there is in North Dakota, but it won't just be the state bank of North Dakota. It will be the fucking people's bank of the world.